Getting a cat to drink clean and fresh water can be a rather tough task. Not for all cat owners, but certainly for some. And speaking of some, it seems like some cats would rather drink dirty water from a puddle on the ground than crisp, fresh water from a brand new bowl. It certainly happens. Cat owners, back me up on that one. It does happen. But what's the secret? Why do some cats seem to love the juices found in wet food, but almost shudder at the very notion of fresh water? If you are having trouble getting your cat to drink, in today's material I'll cover several of the most notable things that you can do to encourage your cat, and as the title says, I'll add a bit of a trick, a bit of a twist that you can try if you find yourself down to what seems like your final option. How to get your cat to drink and to increase that daily intake. Interesting topic and hopefully a helpful one. I've got you covered. Stay hydrated and stay tuned. Before we talk about the water, let's talk about the bowl, the container, whatever you've got going on to house that fresh water. Cats can be picky, and sometimes the very newness of a bowl can work against you. What you know to be new and clean, brand new and worthy of use, your cat could find it to be totally unappealing. Why? Well, one of the more notable reasons is the smell. Some cats, they take issue with clean plastic, new plastic, fresh plastic. They can't get beyond the odor, and that prevents them from taking a drink. As an alternative, try glass, ceramic, something that doesn't have a potent scent that can act as a turnoff. Additionally, whatever your selection, make sure the container is wide enough for your cat's face. And yes, I said face, not just the mouth. Some cats, and this can apply to both food and water, they struggle with whisker fatigue, the whiskers rubbing against the sides of the bowl because the container just isn't wide enough. Whisker fatigue, it can cause a cat a bit of discomfort and annoyance. Sometimes a cat will just balk at the idea of drinking entirely, as passing up on water could be worth not having to deal with that whisker rub. So, make sure the container is more than wide enough. Your cat needs to be able to drink without any type of conflict from both the scent and the sides. Now let's talk about the proper location of this water. You've got the right bowl, the big sizes, you're all set, but your cat still won't drink. Take stock. Is the water in a high traffic zone in your home? Is the water right next to the food bowl? Is it near the litter box? Is it close to anything that your cat would find unfavorable in terms of scent? That fresh water, it can become compromised, at least in the nose of your cat, if it's in a bad spot. I mean, it's hard to blame a feline over this one. Just imagine, if you will, if your favorite drink, that ice-cold soda, was 3 feet from your toilet. I mean, that's a hard pass, and rightfully so. I keep using the words fresh and clean, but what if the water is far from it? I mentioned how it seems like some cats would rather drink dirty water from the outside than clean water from inside the home. While this could be true, your cat's water needs to be clean to have any consistent chance of meeting your own objective, which is making sure your pet stays hydrated. Every 12 to 24 hours, perhaps sooner, if you notice that the water has turned a bit foul, simply replace the water. Clean the bowl and give your pet a refill. Your cat will be less likely to pass up a drink if the contents are fresh and appealing. If your cat seems to be passing up the water, they could be making what they consider the proper move, if that water just isn't fresh. And earlier I talked about the scent of the bowl. Make sure the water in your home doesn't have a strong odor, a strong scent. Make sure it tastes clean. If you pick up on anything a bit suspect, your cat certainly can, and they will. Fresh water is key, but so is the scent and the taste of the water itself. Another notable in the water talk, and that's a rolling river. Any type of machine that promotes flowing water. Some cats, even if the water is clean as a whistle, they still need a bit something more. More flavor, if you will. Something has to reel them in. A water fountain. I know many cat owners use a flowing stream to promote fresh water consumption. Now, I mentioned this one a bit earlier, but if you still, after all of this, find yourself in a bit of a pickle, a situation where nothing is working, go with sort of what you know. Go with what your cat will accept. Serve up that juicy food, that wet food, and for good measure, add a touch of fresh water and mix it up. It's a bit of a trick, if you will. It certainly is, and most of the time it actually works. If your cat just won't drink in the conventional way, or even with the use of a flowing water machine, mix in their favorite wet meal, their favorite juices from their wet meal, and see what happens. Okay, now it's time. You've waited long enough. It's time for that one simple trick that you can put into motion in an effort to get your cat to drink more. It's essentially an extended version of adding water to your cat's wet food, but there is a very obvious twist. If you use a spoon to serve up your cat's food, take that spoon, keep it fairly clean after use, and then rub it around the inside of your cat's empty, keyword being empty, water bowl. Cover the base, cover the rim. Make sure every area has been touched by this food spoon. Again, clean the spoon off, make sure no food debris falls into the bowl, but don't wash the spoon. Scent, that's the goal here, the smell of your cat's favorite wet meal. Once you've scent marked the bowl, fill the bowl with fresh water. For some cats, they'll go right for this trick, especially if they're quite fond of the juices found in their favorite wet food meal. They'll fall for the trick, which just amounts to them simply thinking they're consuming juice from the food rather than fresh water that has simply been marked with the scent. Now, a bit earlier I did say that to avoid placing water near food, and that is true, but this is different. The water will still be far away from the actual food bowl, but the water will have enough of the food's aroma to become a source of interest, a source of attraction. Another thing to note is that while it is common using tuna juice as the example to add liquids to the water, that should only be done in moderation. Long term, this is very much not a good idea. However, with this trick, the trick of aroma, the water itself is fresh and clean. You're not adding tuna juice or anything else. Now, the results to all this will naturally be mixed, and to some this won't be considered a trick at all. And hey, I understand. But given all of the notables and the basics that we know about how to get a cat to entertain water, scent marking the water bowl with a cat's favorite meal scent, it is a bit more outside the box in terms of overall thinking compared to the other concepts. And finally, before I turn things over to the audience, never forget to sing your cat's praises when they do finally drink. If you've been going at this for a while, trying everything in the book to make sure your cat drinks fresh water and stays hydrated, if they get that job done, be there with the positives. A petting session, snack treats, something they will enjoy. Let them know that you're proud. This will only increase the likelihood of water consumption. Your pet will be more likely to engage if they know something pretty cool will be waiting soon after. Generally speaking, cats are a bit less inclined to drink water in the conventional sense, at least several times per day, if they are already consuming 3 meals each day of wet food. Hydration is being met in other ways. However, if your cat isn't drinking at all, never ignore it. A complete lack of water consumption could signal a health issue. If you are concerned that your pet's lack of water intake is a sign of something serious, please take your cat to the vet. To the audience of Senior Cat Wellness, what are your thoughts and what are your tricks? Is there anything from my list that you have tried? Is there anything that you'd like to add? Your thoughts and your personal water trick stories, and so much more. That comment section, as always, it's all yours. If you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as a member of the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, thank you so very much for watching, and I will talk to you later.